Hello, my name is Lindsey McCowan, and today I will be performing The Straw, the Coal, and the Bean from Grimm's Fairy Tales. This is an interesting origin story, so I hope that you enjoy. There once was an old poor woman who was hungry and gathered some beans so she could cook them. She lit a fire in her hearth and wanted to make the fire start quicker, so she added some straw. As she was pouring the beans into her pot, one fell out and landed next to a piece of straw on the floor. Soon after, a piece of coal jumped out of the fire and landed among them. The straw asked, "What brought you here?" The coal replied, "I am lucky to have escaped my death from this fire, for surely I would have burned to ash." The bean replied as well, "I slipped through the fingers of this woman, and thankfully I will not be put to death and turned into broth." The straw replied as well, "I am lucky too, for she gathered 60 of my brethren and put into the fire, but I am here on the floor." The coal asked, "So what should we do now?" The bean replied, "We should go and find repair in a foreign country." All pleased with this response, the three left and eventually came across a brook. Now on this brook there was no bridge to cross. However, the piece of straw had a bright idea. "I shall lay myself across the brook, and you can cross over to the other side where I will join you." The straw stretched out from one side to the other side of the brook. The coal, being impatient as he was, happily skipped across until he reached the middle and stopped, paralyzed in fear, hearing the water rush beneath him. Now, having stopped, he quickly burned through the piece of straw, breaking the straw in two, falling into the river, and the coal himself fell in, hissed when he touched the water, and breathed his last breath. The bean, on the other hand, was still on the shore, watching the whole ordeal, and laughed so hard that his insides spilled out. Now there was a tailor nearby at the brook who came over and put the bean back together by stitching him up with black thread. And so this is why all beans now have a black seam. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.